Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Fajar Aryadi. My ID number 21210106000 and 4. Okay, in this video, I will make a podcast review. The title of my podcast is "We Speak Different English with Japanese People." The the podcast come from Trust Taste Highlight Video. So in this podcast, there is four men, namely Joy, Grant, Connor, and the guest is Joseph. They are sharing their experiences when they live in Japan. In this cutting podcast, they underline about English become different in Japan. So English is not English in Japan. This podcast revolves around a conversation among individuals discussing language learning experiences, particularly in Japanese. Okay, in Japanese, maybe it's Hokkaido, Yagatama, or any place. The content touch on various topics such as accent, language evolution, challenges in bilingualism, and learning a third language. Here's a brief preview. Okay, the first is informative and engaging conversation. Uh, when they are live in Japan, so they have very engaging conversation and features about language learning experience, making it interesting for viewers, me maybe. And the second is diversity. The discussion in this podcast covering a range of topics from accent, language evolution, to the challenges of speaking multiple languages maybe. This diversity keep the content engaging and relevant. The third is real life language challenges. Delves into real life challenges faced by individual learning by using multiple languages, adding authentically to be a content, and this is the real life challenges. And the fourth is humorous anecdotes. In Japan, most people like anecdote humorous, so such as encounter with specific word and online interaction at like heart touch and anything. Uh, so they are the conversation this podcast. I found the areas of improvement. Yeah, the first is clarify in transition. Some transition between topics are abrupt or might be beneficial to a smoother transition to enhance the flow of the conversation. And the second is organization. A wide range of subtopics and better organization could enhance the overall structure of video or the language, making it easier for viewer to follow. The third is visual element. In this podcast, we will found a visual element that focus on the pembicara. Like this, considering visual element or illustration to complement the conversation, to enhance the overall viewer experience. The fourth is engagement with audience. They are so communicative to the viewer. Overall, this video podcast provides a valuable insight into language learning experience, especially in Japanese, with Japanese people, I mean, and with some refinement and in organization and transition. It has a potential to be an engaging and informative podcast. Maybe that's all for me for the review podcast from the Trash Taste. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.